If you're an aspiring artist who really wants to make it in music, this video is for you. Here are my 10 tips to turn your music dreams into a reality. Tip number 1. Do not listen to other people's opinions about who you are and what you do. This applies to friends, family, strangers on the internet, and basically anyone who has anything to say about what you want to do with your life. Unfortunately, you have to realize that sometimes the people who are closest to you can sometimes be your biggest haters and don't want to actually see you win. But you just have to realize that's coming from a place of hurt, a place of jealousy, and also a place of love too. Because at the end of the day, yeah, your family does want to see you succeed, but you may be doing something that they don't think you could succeed in, or they don't realize that it's possible to succeed in. So all I'll say is this: it's very complicated when someone you love doesn't support you. And for your own sake, get their opinions out of your head. If you don't, you risk losing and not making your dreams a reality. Tip number 2 is don't stop and be consistent. Don't stop learning how to get better at your craft, marketing, business, networking, and basically anything that's going to move you forward. I'll say this: the people who wanted to make it but didn't stopped, and that's why they didn't make it. I know it sounds super obvious, but it's just true. Tip number 3 is create your own leverage by building a brand, community, and network of your own. This is a million times more valuable than a label swooping in or some entity swooping in and promising you all these dreams and things like that, because if those people are even coming in on you and giving you opportunities, you've probably already created enough leverage to not even need them. All the tools are there for you to do it. You just have to start doing it, be bad at it, and then get better at it, and eventually you'll be in a better position, really. At the end of the day, all the tools for you to do this are available and they're free. They are free. These are the same tools that everyone has right now. It's an even playing field. So I'll just leave it at that. Tip number 4 is stop being a perfectionist because it's actually hurting you. Let me elaborate a little bit. Just get used to putting out music, videos, or just like content or anything you're doing, even if you think it's bad. When you practice putting out stuff that you think is bad, you're just going to get used to putting stuff out there, and putting stuff out there is better than putting nothing out there. And through the process of putting things out there, you're just going to get better at doing it, and you're going to get better at your craft, and all around, you're just going to be better down the line. So start being bad to be good, I guess. That makes any sense at all. Also, to add on to that, remember, good and bad is subjective. You may put out something that's bad that may change someone's life, and they may be like, wow, that's the best thing I've ever heard, and that literally changed my perspective on how to live my life. I put out pieces of music that I was questioning, and then down the line, someone was like, hey man, like, I still listen to this record you put out 6 years ago, and I'm like, really? Like, damn, bro, like, that's insane. So you never know who's listening and how your music is going to impact someone. Also, it's a part of the story, because down the line, when you do put out that hit record, then people are going to go back and see where you came from because you documented it, and they're going to say, wow, that's inspiring. I think I could actually do that. You could inspire a new generation by putting out bad music, because it's like people are going to see it and they're going to be like, wow, like this dude went from this to that. Everyone loves a good rags to riches story. So just put out bad stuff. Tip number 5 is make sacrifices to make your dreams come true. You're not going to get what you want by going out drinking with your buddies over the weekend, and just in general by doing things that are going to take you away from putting in time into your craft. I think self-awareness comes into play in this. Analyzing yourself and figuring out what you could potentially sacrifice to make sure you put the time into your dreams is very important. So it may look different person to person. It could be watching too much Netflix, smoking too much weed, spending time with toxic people, spending too much time out. Just in general, if you're not spending time working on your craft and building towards what you want, then you're less likely to get that. And I'm not saying you have to be doing it every hour of the day, but if you're only doing it a few hours out of the day or a few hours out of the week and you have these big dreams, it's going to be way harder for those dreams to come true. So, yeah. At the end of the day, you just got to be real with yourself and make those sacrifices accordingly. Tip number 6 is pretty obvious, but take the time to hone in on your craft. It's going to take years for you to get very good, but it's so necessary to take the time if you actually want to have a shot at making it. Which brings me to tip number 7. Define what making it is for you. Maybe your dream is to just make a livable wage at making music and having a brand and having a community. But maybe your goal is to be the next big pop star or the big next star in your genre. Figure out what making it is for you so you can take the appropriate steps. Tip number 8 is have a job to support yourself and to invest in yourself. This is important because if you don't have money, you won't have the ability to invest in yourself and your career. To add on to that, be careful about expecting your parents to support your dreams from a financial standpoint. This could get weird because when down the line you haven't made anything out of yourself, you may have to conform because you're on their payroll. You could run into weird situations with that, where if you just had your own money and your own job and your own way to support yourself, they wouldn't at that point have the leverage over you. So it's vital to make sure you have that financial support from yourself so you don't run into any issues down the line. Tip number 9 is build your community, network, and your fan base one person at a time. The one-on-one connections are really where it's at because over time, those connections compound into long-lasting relationships, super fans, and for the most part, opportunity. And lastly, we're on tip 10. Tip number 10 is learn to enjoy the process and journey more than anything. It's great to have massive aspirations and massive goals, but if you're not waking up and you're not stoked, what are you even doing? It's like you're not even happy doing it. Like, just make sure you're happy doing what you're doing on a day-to-day basis on your way to achieving your dreams. Just make sure you're really enjoying yourself. So those are my 10 tips on how to make your musical dreams a reality. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know if I'm completely off. Like, I'm genuinely curious to hear other people's input. Feel free to reach out. My name is M. Gibbs. I'm a music producer. I make beats. I make instrumentals. I work with other artists. So I'd love to also hear what you have going on. And let's definitely connect. My handle on all socials is mgibbstunes, MGIBZ tunes, TUNES. So feel free to connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, and DM me. And just like, I'm always down to have a chat. So thanks for tuning in. I hope some of these tips helped you out a little bit. And have a good rest of your day. Peace out.